What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Commander Deck Tech. This week we have Feldon of the Third Path, Mono Red Graveyard Recurrence. Apparently black's not the only color that can do it. So here we are with this deck, guys. Feldon, you pay 2 and a red, tap, create a token copy of a target creature in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste and sacrifice it at the next end step. So we have tons of ways to sacrifice creatures, because if we're going to sacrifice them anyway, might as well use them for something other than attacking. And we have a bunch of creatures and things in the deck to say when we sacrifice permanent, do such an effect, and this card says sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, so that's helpful as well. So creatures in this deck: Merchant of the Veil, because we can pay 1 red and discard a card if we do draw a card, or pay 2 and a red, discard a card, draw a card, because we want to get our creatures to the graveyard so we can start bringing them back with Feldon. Bone Crusher Giant, just a great card to have. You can shock something and then cast it, and then when it's dead, you can bring it back with Feldon. Burnished Heart, probably my favorite card to abuse with Feldon. Book Devourer, Tectonic Giant, Orcish Blood Painter, Rapacious Dragon. Abusing this with Feldon, you just get all those treasures. You can keep casting other stuff. Greater Gargaron has suspend 10, pay a red to suspend for 10. Sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land. Remove a time counter from Greater Gargaron. Activate his ability only if Greater Gargaron is suspended. So another way to use our tokens that we make with Feldon after we attack with them. Keldon Overseer, pay X and a red, discard 2 cards from your hand, and this deals X damage to target creature or player. Like I said, we want to get our creatures to the graveyard. Reckless Fireweaver, Neheb Dreadhorde Champion, Combustible Gear Hulk, another great card to abuse with Feldon, because players just don't know what to do. Shivan Dragon, a classic. Gear Smasher, Hobble Fiend, the Uvara Hellkite. We got Rogrock, Son of Rogra, Neheb the Eternal. We got our little War Leader here, Cinderheart Giant. Our pay a red, sacrifice a creature, and this card deals 1 damage to target player. Calamity Bearer, Mad Prophet, Orcish Vandal, Dragon Egg. When Dragon Egg dies, create a 2/2 red dragon token with flying, and has pay a red. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So another great card to abuse with Feldon, because the token will die at the end of the turn. Insolent Neonate, Magma, Dream Shaper Shaman. Another great egg here to abuse with our Feldon. When the egg is put into the graveyard from play, put a 4/4 rock creature token with flying into play at the end of turn. Now, if you guys didn't know, the tokens do hit the graveyard for a split second, so this card will also trigger. Keldon Raider, Fisher Wizard, Flame Wreath Phoenix, Gargadon, Blood Aspirant, Dragon Mage, one of my favorite dragons. Okay, when it deals combat damage to a player, each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. Elena Kessig Trapper, Havoc Jester, whenever you sacrifice permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. So, the end step, if this is on the board, when we're sacrificing our thing, we will be dealing some damage. And Brazen Freebooter is the last of the creatures in this deck. Artifacts, we have Mask of Memory, Witch's Oven, another way to sack the stuff, and Traveler's Amulet. Now, for enchantments, we have Goblin War Drums, the Flame of Keld, a Crow in War, Furnace Celebration, Rune of Speed, Weaponized Monsters, and that's it. For instance, we have Lightning Axe, Magma Quake, Fling. This card gets really, really fun. Through the Breach, Thrill for Possibilities, and that's our instance. Sorceries, we have Thud, Storm's Wrath, Cathartic Reunion, Iron Crag Feet, Collective Defiance, Boom and Bust, Claim the Firstborn, Banefire, Trader's Greed, Acidic Soil, Crater Claws, Faithless Looting, another way to discard some cards, Tormenting Voice, another way to discard some cards, Portent of Betrayal, Infernal Plunge, and Pigment Storm. So lots of ways to discard cards to our graveyards because we want to get our creatures into the graveyard as quick as we can to get the ball rolling with Feldon, to start making tokens, to start making more creatures, and just overwhelm our opponents with all these effects from stuff in the graveyards. Yes, this deck does kind of lose to graveyard hate, like Bojuka Bog, Leyline of the Voids, and Gissa, the one that removes all the creatures when they go from the battlefield to the graveyard. She exiles them instead, so that kind of screws with this deck as well. But outside of that, it's a fun deck to play. Let me know down below if there's any other creatures you guys would run in this deck. This is a fairly budget build. The link to the whole deck list will be in the description box for you guys to go check out, like always, with all the lands in it. Because if I did the lands in these videos would be like 20 or 30 minutes long. So we skipped the lands for the deck techs, but you guys can just check them all out in the link in the description. Also, now that we're doing quite a few deck techs, I think we're up to 21 or 22 deck techs I've done on the channel now. If there's any deck techs you guys want to see, leave a comment down below. I will try and make the deck techs of those commanders, or I might know someone that has one and I can use their build to do a deck tech. You never know. But I will see you guys in the next video.